So segment 1, going from Emerald here, which is the Westgate, Raymond, Fairview, Snelling, Hamlin station, excuse me, is in segment 1, as you can see right here. Segment 2, then it'll pick up from Hamlin and it'll continue around the Capitol area, is scheduled for 2012. And then, as you know, downtown, we've been working on downtown and doing that construction, and that's been ongoing. But the heavy construction here, June 2011, and then the area down by the St. Paul Depot, March 2011. The University of Minnesota has also already done some preliminary work and is doing some stuff and reinforcing the Washington Avenue Bridge, and that's a whole nother area, but we're going to focus today on segment 1 because this is the area that I've been asked to focus on. This is our construction schedule. If you have not seen this, I do have some brochures at the desk. Please make sure you take one. Take a look at this. This is what the contractors have given us. This is what we've been asking for and waiting for a long time. What is the construction timeline? Please just tell me how long you're going to be out in front of my business. I'd love to be able to tell you we're going to be out there 6 weeks, 2 months, 3 months, 4 months. But as you know, we're in the state of Minnesota. Weather is always a factor when we are building anything. And this is a major project, one of the largest projects in the state of Minnesota. A lot of people have collaborated and coordinated their efforts to get this done as fast as we can. The city has asked us to get it done as fast as we can. So here we go. We're going to start on the east side, or I'm sorry, at Emerald. And we're going to start on the south side of the road. At Walsh Construction, if you're here, Don,
yep.
Could you talk a little bit about how that's going to work? Would you mind coming up here and just sharing with the group about the construction staging? This is Don Henley again from Henry from Walsh Construction.
Good morning. I wasn't actually prepared to talk. My community outreach person is in a meeting today, so I came. I'm actually the senior project manager on the job. And as we were saying, we're going to be starting on the south side of the road, south lanes, in March. We're going to go from Emerald all the way down to Hamline. The first season, both sides of the road will be done, but the first season, we're going to start in March to go to basically July. We're going to start ripping up the road on the southbound up to Hamden, and then once that's there, we're going to continue down to Aldine. And then next month is when we'll start removing some of the asphalt from Aldine down to the end of the first segment 1. What's going to happen is we're going to come in here, the first one, we're going to set up the traffic control. All the traffic's going to be on the northbound lanes. We're going to come and remove the asphalt, the pavement, curb gutter, medians, everything out in front. Then we're going to put in all the utilities, storm sewer, new water main, which will be coordinated obviously with the city of St. Paul. From what I'm told, everybody, I don't want to talk for Carl, but there'll be minimal impacts to the buildings. We'll be all coordinated with St. Paul, the buildings, and Walsh. What's going to happen is we're going to do all this removal, and we're going to continue with the removals and the utilities, and when we get somewhere in this area, all the roadway will be back done, utilities will be back in. We're going to start paving this road right up here. Once this first mile is paved, we're going to still remove down here. We're going to flip traffic. We're going to put a crossover in here. We're going to start removing the northbound lanes. At the same time, we're removing this. So basically, every mile on the southbound, we're going to put a crossover to put the traffic over on what we just built, so we can continue building the northbound, get it all done as quick as we can. When the first mile on both sides are done, the track contractor is going to come in. He's going to start putting his rail down the middle of the road. And we'll just continue like a train-like movement, and hopefully we'll be done to that area sometime in November. After all the track, what's going to happen here is once the roadway's built, we got to come in and take out the old sidewalks in front of the buildings. And then there's constraints on that also. We'll work within that, and we'll build all the sidewalks, remove and rebuild the sidewalks. Obviously, all the access will be, we have to keep, so there'll be ramps and everything else to get into the buildings and through the buildings so your customers can get in and around. So that's a pretty quick run through.
The only thing I'd add, Don, is that when we're in the time frame when we've got construction along there, you see some streets identified. We'll have temporary signals in place at the two 280 spots. So Cromwell Eustis, those two ramp intersections. We'll have temporary signals at Franklin, at Raymond, at Pryor, Cleveland, Fairview, so at those major intersections. So they'll still have crossing traffic, they'll still have left turning traffic to and from. And then the other piece will be that when we've got traffic over on the north side of the road, those cross streets to and from, those other cross streets to and from University Avenue and the north side of the road will be open, south side ones will not. And when we switch traffic to the other side, they'll be back open for those cross streets. And then these will not, that construction will take place, and then we'll be back in this condition. The goal by the end of the year, when Don went through all that work, the goal by the end of the construction season year is that this segment, this 3 miles from Eustis to, or from Emerald, the city border, to Hamlin, will be in this kind of a condition, if you can see this up here, where the outside sidewalks are done, the curb and gutter and travel lanes on the outside are done, traffic is back, 2 lanes east, 2 lanes west on the outside, and all that's left as we move forward is finishing up station work, which is in the center, finishing up guideway work, which is in the center, and traffic flows. And then the only time we need to deal with lane closures is when we maybe take some interim times when the inside lanes get closed for work in the center, but otherwise it's typically open back as University Avenue.
Some of the stations will be finished up.
How much of the work is on schedule? I mean, is like on schedule downtown St. Paul? Did they do exactly what your fellow or a comparable fellow said, and did it only take a season or whatever it was supposed to?
Well, we had several different contracts before, and different utility contracts. So we had a 4th Street Advanced Utility contract that's done, finished, completed, and now Walsh Construction has taken over all the rest of St. Paul as that piece. And so what they've started so far in their contract is to work on Robert along the Capitol, where you see Robert go. So that's ongoing through winter suspension now, and we'll start up, and everything is on schedule to start as we're expecting it to start.
What happens if Minnesota doesn't get the federal funding?
We just are moving forward as that money's gonna be there.
When do you see us flipping to the other side of the street for traffic? Bringing traffic on the first half, the south half that's completed. When do you see us flipping traffic?
We did, when we put these months on here, you'll see these 2 are solid. They're, in other words, they don't have any of this hatching in there, and they don't have the words tentative. So these 2 are pretty firm. I mean, March, Walsh is gonna start and come down here, and then mid-March, they're gonna add this piece on.
Okay, so I'm on the cross-hatching part of June, October, so
Up here.
tentatively around there.
That's
Okay.
correct. I mean, there's things obviously that play into that don't, what are they gonna encounter in the ground? What does weather add? And so that's why there's a range in there, but, so it would be expected that it would be in June.
Are those crossover points already defined as to where you flip from one side to another? Are they on those?
No, they're not on here. We're
I mean,
gonna
where
put
we
them.
do the,
Yeah, we're moving traffic,
Yeah.
crossovers. They're basically in streets that are closed, cross streets, we're running them through there. We have one tentatively at Hamden, and the other one's at Aldine. And then the third one will be at the actually in segment 2.
it does take time,
Right.
can't
Yep.
and buzz traffic over, so it can't be right at a busy intersection, so we kind of pick the area around Hamden,
Right.
and then the area kind of between Fairview and Fry, so right in that Aldine area.
Okay.
Good question. You said the crossover is gonna be at Hamden. I got 2 buildings on Hamden University. Are we gonna have access to our buildings while this is going on?
Access, mean,
Can people get to them to make left turns, right turns? How are we gonna do that?
well, Hamden will not have a signal at it.
Will it when construction is finished?
Yes, Hamden is a signalized intersection in the after conditions, so it'll go back to kind of just like it is today, left turns, full intersection. during construction, it'll go through, Hamden will still be open, like I say, coming up from whichever side,
People can make right turns north or south.
depending on which side the construction is on, and then, of course, out through the next intersection, when you come over Vandalia one side, and Franklin on the other side, over there. Jack?
Yeah, I have a specific question on the streetlights. Our current situation where our sidewalk is, and the streetlights are out on the edge of the sidewalk, our sidewalk is being reduced to the point where those streetlights are actually gonna be in the lane of, the new lane of traffic, so they'll have to be removed. When you do the removal, and the streetlights will have to come out of there, will there be any lighting during the point between removal, construction, and when the final installation of the lighting, the permanent lighting? Is there an idea for any temporary lighting on that whole south side?
The contract does have a provision to have temporary lighting available, yes.
So, all right.
I have a question. In terms of with the drawing there, it looks like realistically that it's probably gonna take 2 seasons, because more than half of it is temporary. Is that accurate to think?
No, tentative.
Those are just date tentative.
It's gonna,
Tentative
we're gonna
dates.
get-
yeah,
Okay.
it's gonna be done from there to there by November.
Okay, okay.
Gonna be done from there to there and back to this condition by November.
Okay.
The key is, we didn't wanna put absolutely April. If this is taking a little longer, and we don't get down here till May, maybe that doesn't get extended till May, but maybe this starts right away in June, and so there's a little play in when the contractor will move. It won't have, the key pieces to take away is, when construction is on one side, there'll be no construction on the other side. So, one side's gotta have traffic, one side's gotta have construction, and, but by the end of the season, it'll all be done.
Thank you.
When did you say the track contractors will start laying the track the year after this?
No, he's laying it this year.
Right, but is he gonna, like, from Emerald to going east, is he gonna start as soon as you're done on both sides there?
As soon as we're done, somewhere within the first mile of both sides, he'll be in there sometime mid-July.
See, one of the things about this particular method is you see tracks going in the middle of the road. So you see under this phase, the middle of the road area is under construction. Under this phase, the middle of the road area is under construction. And even down here, if necessary, the middle of the road area can be under construction. So the track can start going in at any time after the underground work is done. So in some cases, the track will be going in down right while there's still construction on one side. And in some cases, towards the end, there might be more completed construction on both sides and the track's going in, so.
There's also the electrical plan with these large, I forget the 2 different types of facilities that are both north and south in various areas. When is that construction?
The
Substations.
substations, Walsh Contracting has within their contract all of the ductwork, the underground ductwork to get to the substation. So you talk about there's a substation down Raymond down here, so there's some duct that comes down Raymond. That'll be done within this time frame under Walsh's construction. The setting of the boxes, the grading, that's all in our systems contract, which is also awarded, but really won't start a lot of that work until the 2012 season on those there's that signal box up by what's in South St. Anthony, up by Pillsbury, up behind the Holiday Station, there's a signal bungalow there, there's the traction power substation down off of Raymond, those pieces.